vulnerable to obesity and diabetes when they actually get into the better environments, or the so-called better environment. That is, we give them all the high-fat feeding and all the and lack of exercise, which we're accustomed to. So they suffer most from westernisation. So the problem is, though, that women at the same time are still discriminated against despite all this. They have the most complications, much more complication risk from obesity and diabetes than men do. So it is not known. We always talk about breast cancer, but we don't talk about heart disease. More women die of heart disease. Women are at a higher risk of heart disease and complications from obesity than men. And we don't do anything about it. Why? The medical profession here is very bad at this. Berit here made quite a few comments if I let her. She's done a lot of work on this, and it seems amazing, but if a woman rings up the ambulance with chest pain, they come an hour later, an hour? Half an hour?
20 minutes.
20 minutes later to a woman than to a man. And and they're served later, less urgently in the accident and emergency. Doctors, given the cases of an obese man and an obese woman, are more interested in doing things for the man, looking at the medical problems of the man, than looking at medical problems of the woman. Treatments. I see this in diabetes, that the woman gets less active treatment of her diabetes and her diabetic complications than the man. It's a worrying trend, except for the woman who isn't obese, who then is told to lose weight, whereas the man isn't. So there's a poor correlation with the real problems. So medical attitudes are not right. Then we also have the fact that the heart disease heart disease itself is treated very ineffectively in women because the studies have been done in men. And again, they're different. So women do badly treated coronary-wise, coronary heart surgery or aortic surgery. Outcomes are worse. They need to do the studies in women first to decide what the treatment should be. So there's a history of neglect of women. Now, one or two other things. The thing that I also campaign on is there are treatments now that can help people who have severe problems with obesity and diabetes, for example. I've been to the state politicians and the federal. Bariatric surgery is a very effective means of losing weight, resolving diabetes and treating some of the complications, but we haven't got funding for it on the public health. You can pay for it, but you can't get this in the public system if you don't have the money to pay. So there's been a report to the government, there's been our group given an expert committee of report. We're all waiting to see action so that the public can also benefit, because this is an old slide, but it also reduces heart disease and it's for those with the more severe obesity and so if you can't get that, what do the rest of you do? This is a number of my sessions. What do people do? They're told to fat cluster, by rating their fat. This is what people buy. All of you, all these people. Bowel cleansing, liver cleansing. Everyone's out buying this stuff. Don't look innocent. Toxins, everyone's eliminating toxins. I don't know where they come from, but they're all washing them out all the time. Blocking carbohydrate blocking. The last one is one that I had some success in having it removed from sale. Nasal spray that was said to take a good but it was taken off. But all of these are things that the TGA does, and the complementary. All you have to do to make money is clean product listed on the TGA listing. You don't, and look how much money you could make. People like you are spending over $1 billion on complementary compounds, and 90% of doctors are recommending them, and 100% of pharmacists. Walk into the pharmacy and look what's on the shelves. And the proof, how much proof do you have to have whether they work? None. They don't have any proof. Okay, so that's another of my things, and how useful are, that's how good they are. Okay, so I'll stop with my tirade and allow Berit to say a few words if she wishes to, or if you want to ask them questions first and then see what Berit wants to say. Do you want to make comments, or would you? No, you take the questions. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question? I have essential tremors, and the neurologist put me on Topamax, and I lost, one of the side effects of Topamax is it stops your cravings, stops the night eating, and I lost 23 kilos in a year, and I'm a diabetic. But I have to pay $80 a month for that medication. Now, Lesley and I and the diabetic nutritionist are writing up a report of this to go into the journals. Why can't that be something that can be funded? Because it's helping me, a diabetic.
There we are. Right, yes, this is one of the problems. Drugs for obesity. Now, you've got this background of the fact that if it's a problem with your weight, then it's your problem because you could just eat less and exercise more, so why should you have anything funded for you? So the terrible thing is the drugs that have already been approved occasionally for obesity have always had more severe regulation. As soon as there's a side effect, or if they're not, if they cost a lot, they don't get through. So we have had such terrible trouble with trying to get drugs on approved that it's been a very sad story. The drug you're talking about is halfway to it's halfway to FDA approval with another drug, and I think if we write our story, and if we and I think if we get more people supporting it, it will have a limited approval just because of this. Again, they'll say it's got side effects, and then you'll say, well, so do all the drugs. But as I say, on the background, I think it's what you're saying is lovely, and we were very happy and excited about it, and we're running it up. But you have again a background of people not wanting to give, or to a public that is not ready to support, or a PTA that's not ready to support financing.
I'm just wondering if that particular drug was approved, then it would be out there being advertised as a dietary effect, you know, and so therefore you'd have people using the drug under the PBA to lose weight when they probably don't need to. I mean, there's lots of things you can't get on the PBA, like my husband's got a very bad rash which cost me over $40 every second week, and I can't get that free, you know. I mean, there's many things you can't get free. But my question to you